A girl has her hands and feet tied. In this freezing cold, she is left on the balcony in wet clothes all night. Unable to endure it, the girl uses her mouth to turn on the tap and tries to drink a drop of water. But just as she is about to drink, her father comes and turns off the faucet. He grabs and throws her into a wet bathroom. This is the story of the 2018 South Korean movie Miss Baek. This is not just a story but a harsh true story. It shows the injustice and abuse faced by a 9-year-old girl. The movie received 14 nominations and won 11 awards. The movie begins by showing a detective named Young-suk. He arrives at a house to investigate a case. The dead body of an elderly woman has been found there. The body had been lying inside the house for about a month. From the police conversation, it is learned that the woman had no family and did not talk to anyone. No one visited the house except a social worker. That social worker discovered the body and informed the police. Young-suk finds several photos of the woman with her young daughter. It is also revealed that Young-suk had been searching for this woman for a long time. Then a woman named Miss Baek is shown. She works at a car wash cleaning cars. While she is cleaning a car, Detective Young-suk arrives there. Seeing her doing this kind of work makes him feel disappointed. Later they go to a restaurant and eat together. From their conversation, it is revealed that Miss Baek is actually Young-suk's girlfriend. Young-suk does not like that she does these kinds of small jobs because he believes she is capable of doing something better. He takes off his jacket and gives it to Miss Baek because he does not want her to suffer in the cold. Miss Baek can tell from his expression that something feels different today. She understands that there is something he wants to say. When she says this, Young-suk tells her everything. He says that this morning he found her mother, who is no longer alive. Then he takes Miss Baek to see the body. Young-suk says that the cause of death is still unknown, but it is believed she died due to lung cancer. Miss Baek looks at her mother's dead body, but there is no sign of grief on her face. Young-suk tells her that she is now the guardian and the decision is hers, whether to proceed with an autopsy or arrange the funeral. With a faint, disappointed smile, Miss Baek says she only came to see how she died. What they do with the body is their decision. After saying this, she leaves. Back at home, she starts cleaning her room. However, after hearing about her mother's death, she feels so frustrated that nothing feels right. It seems like a heavy pain has been building inside her, something she has never been able to express. The next morning, Young-suk is eating at his sister's restaurant. His sister comes and scolds him for being in a relationship with Miss Baek and taking responsibility for her. Young-suk tells her that Miss Baek has already refused to marry him. Even after hearing this, his sister says it is for the best, that the girl has no class and was never suitable for him. Annoyed by these words, Young-suk leaves. At that moment, a colleague brings him some information. Young-suk sees that Miss Baek's mother had a criminal record. She spent 7 years in prison for killing a boy in an accident. She killed him to take revenge for something that happened to Miss Baek. A flashback shows that incident. One day, the boy tried to assault Miss Baek. In self-defense, she severely injured him with a piece of glass. That is when Young-suk first met her. Young-suk tells his boss that the girl is innocent. She only injured the boy to protect herself. The boy should be the one arrested. However, the boy's family had political power. On the other hand, Miss Baek was a high school student who grew up in an orphanage. So, under orders from his boss, Miss Baek was arrested and imprisoned for attempted murder. From that point on, Young-suk takes responsibility for her. But even though her mother was alive, why Miss Baek grew up in an orphanage will be revealed later. That night, Young-suk again proposes marriage to her. But Miss Baek refuses again. She tells him that if he continues to stay involved with her, he will ruin his own life. She says she is not suitable for marriage and tells him to marry someone else. Even then, Young-suk continues to insist. He says he thought that if she saw how painfully her mother died, she might forgive her, change her life, and agree to marry him so they could build a peaceful family. At that point, Miss Baek responds that he talks about forgiveness, but does he know what her mother was like? Every night, she would come home drunk and beat her badly. Even after that, she was not satisfied and eventually left her behind. Because of her, Miss Baek had to grow up in an orphanage. Because of her, her life turned out this way, and now everyone sees her as a bad person. After saying all this, she leaves the house. At that moment, she notices a helpless girl sitting alone on the street, wearing only a thin piece of clothing in the freezing cold. She is sitting curled up by the roadside. Her face clearly shows signs of severe pain. Miss Baek tries to ignore her and walk away, but she cannot. She turns back and comes to the girl. She gives her own jacket to her. Then she takes her to a restaurant and buys her food. As soon as the food is placed in front of her, the little girl starts eating in a way that makes it seem like she has not eaten for a long time. While drinking water, the glass suddenly slips from her hand. The girl becomes so frightened that she raises her hands to protect herself, as if expecting to be hit. She thinks she will be punished for this mistake. Seeing such fear in a child over such a small mistake, Miss Baek is surprised. She picks up the glass and pours water into it again. This time, the girl feels a little relieved and apologizes for her mistake. She says her name is Jiyoon and that she is 9 years old. Miss Baek asks her why she is outside like this on such a cold night and where her father is. Jiyoon says her father stays at home all day. At that moment, Miss Baek notices several bruises on Jiyoon's shoulders and arms. She asks if her father hurts her, but Jiyoon does not respond and remains silent. Just then, a woman arrives there. Her name is Jumi. She tells Miss Baek that Jiyoon has a metabolism problem, so there are many restrictions on what she can eat. That is why she comes outside and asks people for food, and she apologizes for it. Jumi tells Jiyoon to return the jacket and come with her. However, Jiyoon becomes very frightened when she sees Jumi and tightly holds Miss Baek's hand. Miss Baek understands everything but cannot do anything. Even after seeing this helpless, innocent child suffering so much, she has no way to help. That night, Miss Baek cannot sleep, thinking about everything that happened. On the other hand, Jiyoon is shown sitting curled up beside a small, wet bathroom, looking helpless. Meanwhile, Jumi, despite being so harsh, goes to church and prays with everyone. After that, she sits in her car and calls child welfare. She received a notice that the monthly financial support for Jiyoon will be stopped. That is why she calls and says that if the money is stopped, how will Jiyoon's father take care of her? The girl's life will be ruined. She requests that the support should not be stopped. Then Miss Baek is shown working at a massage parlor. She does many small jobs like this to earn money. At that time, Jumi comes to the same parlor. While receiving a body massage, Jumi tells Miss Baek that she is sorry about what happened the previous day. She says Jiyoon is not her daughter, but her boyfriend's daughter. When she entered the relationship, she did not know this. Later, when she found out, she wanted to break up but could not. She says that these days even parents abandon their own children, yet she is still taking care of Jiyoon even though she is not her mother. Miss Baek does not respond. Then Jumi returns home. There, her boyfriend and Jiyoon's father, Kim, is shown. He spends the entire day playing video games at home. Jumi tells him that child welfare said the financial support might be stopped, but Kim is so absorbed in his game that he does not listen to her at all. Then Jumi goes to the bathroom. At that moment, a disturbing scene is shown. They have not even given the child a proper place to stay. Jiyoon has been living curled up in a corner of the bathroom for days. After that, without any reason, Jumi starts hitting the child severely. She injures her and continues until blood comes from her nose and mouth. Even though Kim hears everything from the next room, he shows no reaction at all. Then Jumi pours water on her and leaves her there in the cold bathroom. On the other hand, Young-suk goes to meet the social worker who first discovered Miss Baek's mother's body. She tells him that the woman spent her whole life blaming herself. After her husband died, she became deeply depressed. From then on, when she drank, she would often hurt her child. She constantly blamed herself for ruining her daughter Miss Baek's life. The next day, Miss Baek again sees Jiyoon standing on the street, wearing that same thin clothing, looking helpless. Seeing her reminds Miss Baek of her own past, when her mother would come home drunk and treat her in the same way. She used to treat her the same way, hurting her and beating her. She runs toward the girl. Seeing Jiyoon's condition, her heart feels shaken. The nail on her hand has been torn off. She cannot tolerate it. Her eyes fill with tears. In pain and anger, she shouts and asks if that woman did this. She takes June to a clothing store and buys her warm clothes. Then she takes her to eat and asks where she was planning to go. June says she was only hungry and came out to eat. Miss Baek notices money in her hand and asks why they give her money if they do not feed her. June says that after hurting her for a long time, they give her a small amount of money to buy food. Hearing this, Miss Baek becomes even more distressed. She immediately takes her to the front of the police station. However, June does not want to go there. She says that if she goes, they will send her back home again. It is then shown that earlier, unable to endure the repeated abuse, June had come to the police station for help. But the police had sent her back home, which led to her being harmed even more. That same night, through the bathroom window, she had seen Miss Baek for the first time. After hearing all this, Miss Baek does not take her inside the police station. Instead, she takes her to an amusement park. For the first time in her life, June sees the beauty of the world. In her painful life, this moment feels like a small piece of peace. Receiving care, affection, and kindness from Miss Baek, she realizes how beautiful the world can be. She thanks Miss Baek. Then Miss Baek asks if she knows where her mother is. June replies that her mother has gone to heaven. She then asks where Miss Baek's mother is. Hearing this question, Miss Baek pauses and says that she is in hell. Hearing that, June gently places her hand on Miss Baek's head. For a moment, Miss Baek feels as if she sees her own mother again. After that, she brings June back to her house. She leaves her at the door and starts to walk away. At that moment, she sees June's father open the door and kick her forcefully. Then he grabs her by the hair and drags her inside. Seeing this, Miss Baek goes to help her. At that moment, Jumi comes there and asks what she is doing in her house. Miss Baek tells her to stop hurting the child. But Jumi tries to hit June in front of her. When Miss Baek stops her, Jumi says that if she cares so much, she should give 100 million and take the child away. Hearing this, Miss Baek cannot stay silent. She goes straight to the police station. But even there, nothing changes. Despite having many visible injuries, June is too afraid to speak against them and says she got hurt by falling. Even though the police understand the situation, they refuse to take the case, using lack of evidence as an excuse. Instead, Jumi tries to file a case against Miss Baek for taking their child without permission and causing trouble at their house. The police advise Miss Baek not to get involved and ask for her ID. After checking it, they see that she already has a criminal record, so they take her complaint less seriously. At that moment, Young-suk arrives and takes Miss Baek away. He is shocked to hear that someone could treat such a young child this way. Right in front of them, Jiun is taken away by those people. Young-suk becomes very frustrated. He calls the child care center regarding Jiun, but there is no space available anywhere to take in another child. In anger, he says that every day many children in their small country face abuse, yet there are not enough child care centers to protect them. He calls Miss Baek and informs her of this. He also says that someone from child care will occasionally check on Jiun. Miss Baek starts packing all her belongings because she plans to leave the city and move far away to Jeju Island. Meanwhile, Jumi receives a call from child care informing her that they will come to visit Jiun the day after tomorrow. She tells Kim about it and warns him not to hurt the child for these 2 days, or it will cause problems. At that moment, Jiun is shown tied up, left outside on the balcony in the cold. She is given neither food nor water. Weak from hunger and thirst, she struggles to endure it. Jiun tries to turn on the water tap with her mouth to drink water. But her father does not allow her to drink it. He comes and turns off the tap. He tells her to go away and says that seeing her face makes him feel angry. He says it would be better for both of them if she were gone and that he never wanted her. After saying all this, he starts hitting her severely. At one point, he grabs her by the throat and almost kills her. Just then, the doorbell rings. Kim gets scared and lets her go, but he does not open the door. It is shown that Miss Baek has come there to see Jiun. She keeps pressing the doorbell, but no one opens the door. At that moment, Young-suk calls her. Not getting any response, Miss Baek comes downstairs. She had come to see Jiun one last time before leaving the city. Jiun sees Miss Baek leaving through the bathroom window and tries to call out to her. But because her throat was pressed, she is too weak to make a proper sound. Miss Baek cannot hear her and leaves. Then Young-suk arrives and takes her into the car. As she sits in the car, she thinks about what happened a moment ago. When she was looking toward the window, it was open and Jiyoon might have been there. Thinking about this, she asks him to stop the car. After stopping, she gets out and runs back toward Jiyoon. At the same time, Jiyoon, afraid of her father, tries to escape through the bathroom window to reach Miss Baek. While climbing down, she slips and ends up hanging by some cables. She cannot hold herself properly. At that moment, a car passes by and her grip loosens. She falls from above to the ground. After lying there for some time, she manages to stand up and starts walking toward the road. At that moment, Miss Baek sees her. She runs to her and holds her tightly. For the first time, Jiyoon holds her and breaks down in tears. Even after enduring so much pain, she had never cried in front of her before. But now both of them hold each other and cry. Miss Baek immediately takes her to the hospital. While filling out the admission form, she cannot write what her relationship with the child is. Jiyoon comes to her and says, "Let's leave from here. Take me with you." Without saying anything more, Miss Baek takes her to a hotel. She fills the bathtub with water to bathe Jiyoon. Then Miss Baek shows her the scars on her own body from her childhood. Seeing this, Jiyoon understands why Miss Baek keeps coming back to her and why she feels close to her. Their childhoods are the same and their pain is the same. Miss Baek tells her that she is not educated enough to teach her anything and does not have much to give her. But from now on, she will always stay by her side. She hugs Miss Baek and says that they will always stay together. Meanwhile, Young-suk goes straight to Kim's house. A woman from the neighboring apartment tells him that a woman had come earlier asking about the child. Hearing this, Kim checks the bathroom and sees that Jiyoon has escaped. When he opens the door, Young-suk sees how they used to tie Jiyoon and treat her. Meanwhile, Kim calls Jumi and informs her of everything. Young-suk checks nearby CCTV footage and sees that Miss Baek has taken the child with her. Seeing this, he becomes very worried because now the police might arrest her for kidnapping. That night, Miss Baek calls Young-suk. He tells her that her mother left her because she wanted to protect her. Miss Baek's mother used to hurt her regularly, but one day while intoxicated, she harmed her so severely that she lost consciousness. Her whole body was covered in blood. When her mother saw her in that condition, she broke down completely. That incident continued to trouble her. That day, she took Baek to the hospital and kept asking the doctors to save her daughter. Then she went to the police and begged them to arrest her and separate her from her child. But the police did not believe her. With no other option, her mother took her to an amusement park. After taking a photo with her, she told her to go as far away from her as possible. After saying this, she left the child behind. She leaves her there and goes far away. After that, Baek grows up in an orphanage. After learning all this, Miss Baek breaks down in tears. The mother who left her to give her a better life is the same person she hated all her life. She did not even perform her final rites herself. Thinking about all this, her chest feels heavy with pain. Today, Miss Baek cries deeply for her mother. The pain she had carried inside her life finally comes out through her tears. In her thoughts, she asks her mother if after everything she will ever be able to become a mother. The next morning, Kim meets Jumi. Jumi realizes that if they are caught for child abuse, there will be no way out for them. She does not want to spend her life in prison. So she explains her plan to Kim. They had heard from the police that Miss Baek has a criminal history. So they go to the police first and report that Miss Baek has kidnapped their child. The police talk to Kim's neighbor, who says she saw Miss Baek carrying Jiyoon and leaving. Based on this, the police file a kidnapping case against Miss Baek. Meanwhile, Miss Baek plans to leave the city with Jiyoon. They go to a railway station. At the same time, Young-suk is searching for Miss Baek. He sees her on the station's CCTV footage and immediately goes there. Miss Baek tries to leave, but Young-suk catches them. He takes them to his sister's restaurant. He tells Jiyoon to explain everything to the police. Then he informs Miss Baek that Jiyoon's father has filed a kidnapping case and that they now need to prove that Jiyoon left home on her own. After that, Young-suk goes to Kim again. He hits him and tells him to withdraw the case. At that moment, a man nearby says that he saw the child hanging from cables. He had been drinking and thought it might be his imagination. But later, after checking the dashcam footage, they confirmed that Jiyoon had actually climbed down from the upper floor bathroom window using cables to escape. Hearing this, Young-suk immediately goes to catch Kim. Kim calls Jumi and informs her, then tries to run away. Young-suk catches him. Meanwhile, Jumi cannot find any way out of the situation. So she plans that if Ji-yoon is no longer alive, there will be no evidence of abuse. Thinking this, she decides to kill Ji-yoon and hide her body. At the same time, the police begin questioning Kim. They see evidence that the child was repeatedly harmed. During cold days, they poured water on her and left her on the balcony in wet clothes all night. Young-suk asks him how he could do this to his own child. He asks if he wanted her to die this way. Kim responds that she did not die. He says his own parents treated him badly, yet he survived. He questions where the police were when he was being hurt every day, and why they are here now to punish him. He also questions whether Ji-yoon will ever be able to live a normal life after everything. His words clearly show how serious the impact of child abuse is. It can affect a person's entire life. What happened to Kim made him see abuse as something normal. Miss Baek's life was also affected by it, which is why she never wants to marry. She does not believe she deserves a normal life. On the other hand, Ji-yoon's entire childhood has been spent in suffering under such people. Meanwhile, Jumi takes advantage of the situation and brings Ji-yoon from Young-suk's sister's house with the intention of killing her. She starts hitting Ji-yoon, wanting to end everything. She takes a glass bottle and is about to kill her. At that moment, Miss Baek arrives. She hits Jumi and takes Ji-yoon to Jumi's car. She locks the car door and throws away the key so that Jumi cannot harm her. Then she goes back to confront Jumi. However, Ji-yoon does not want to be separated from Miss Baek. She knows that if Miss Baek harms Jumi, the police will take her away. So she opens the car door from the inside and follows her. Miss Baek tells her that if she takes one more step forward, she will never see her again. Ji-yoon stops and starts crying, but she cannot do anything. Meanwhile, to protect herself, Jumi calls the police. At that moment, Miss Baek approaches her. Jumi tells her that no matter how much she cares for Ji-yoon, she will never be able to protect her. She says that the more she hurt her, the more she became attached to her. She says she will not let anyone take Ji-yoon away from her and that from now on she will raise her properly. However, Miss Baek does not want to hear anything more. She starts hitting her. A serious fight breaks out between them. At that moment, Young-suk also arrives there. He tells Ji-yoon to sit in the car and comes toward Miss Baek. Miss Baek is about to kill Jumi, but Young-suk stops her. He asks if she wants Ji-yoon to see her go to prison. Hearing this, Miss Baek calms down. She starts crying. Then Young-suk gives her the car keys and tells her to leave. Miss Baek meets Ji-yoon once and then leaves from there. After a few days, the news shows that Jumi has been sentenced to 15 years in prison for child abuse and attempted murder, and Kim has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for child abuse. Ji-yoon now lives with Young-suk. She can eat properly every day, sleep in a bed, and attend a good school. She has made many friends there. After leaving behind her painful past, she now has a normal childhood and a stable life. However, even after all this, she still feels the absence of Miss Baek. One day, while returning from school, she sees Miss Baek sitting in front of her school. Now both of them look normal and are living better lives, and they feel happy seeing each other like this. This is where the story ends. It is not just a story but based on a real event. Although the ending is fictional, the plot is inspired by a true incident. The movie presents the seriousness of child abuse in a very clear way. So friends, this was today's story. Let me know how you felt about it. If you liked it, please like, comment, and share. See you in the next story. Until then, keep loving. Bye.